Bus driver Andrew adjusted the worn collar of his uniform as he slid into the driver's seat of Route 27. The familiar scent of gasoline and aged leather seats wrapped around him like an old coat. His watch read 6:45 a.m. A new day. A new dollar, he murmured under his breath, checking his phone for messages from the home care service watching over his mother. The morning began as usual. At the regular stops, familiar passengers boarded. Mrs. Ellison with her canvas bags, Mr. Whitmore, a retired teacher, grading notebooks from his usual seat in the third row. "Good morning, Andrew. How's your mother?" asked Mrs. Ellison, tapping her commuter card. "She's finally taking her medication on time, thanks to the nurse," Andrew replied, with a forced smile. The autumn rain blurred the windshield, making it harder to see. Andrew leaned in, focusing on the glistening road ahead. For the first time in weeks, he was running right on schedule, after multiple warnings from management about recent delays. Turning onto Greenfield Avenue, something odd caught his eye through the rain-smeared glass. A brown shape lay motionless on the sidewalk. As he drew closer, his heart sank. It was a dog, injured, trembling under the cold drizzle. He checked the time. 7:15 a.m., still perfectly on schedule. The next bus wouldn't be along for another 30 minutes. The dog barely lifted its head. Their eyes met. "I can't just leave her there," he whispered, braking gently to a stop. "Everything okay?" Mr. Whitmore asked from his seat. "There's a hurt dog. I need to check," Andrew said, grabbing his umbrella. "Just don't take too long, or you'll fall behind," someone warned from the back. They weren't wrong. He already had 3 infractions on file, but the dog's eyes were full of pain and something deeper. Trust, perhaps. Her brown fur was stained with blood. Nearby, a mangled bicycle hinted at what might have happened. "I won't be long," Andrew said as he opened the bus doors. Rain soaked through his clothes as he knelt by the dog. Her paw was gashed, but thankfully, her bones didn't seem broken. She whimpered softly when he touched her head. "It's okay, girl. We've got you," he whispered, slipping off his jacket to gently wrap her up. He lifted her carefully. She was heavy, but he managed. Inside the bus, worried eyes followed him. "Can someone call the nearest animal clinic?" he asked, stepping back on board. Mr. Whitmore tapped his phone. "There's one just a few blocks from here, on Carter Street. I'll call now." The dog curled up in Andrew's jacket near the front. A little girl stepped closer, peering at her. "Will she be okay?" she asked, voice trembling. "I hope so. We're taking her to get help," Andrew replied, glancing at the clock. 7:25 a.m., already 10 minutes late. "They said they'll take her right away," Mr. Whitmore announced. Andrew nodded and started the engine. A detour to the clinic would add at least 15 more minutes. His grip on the wheel tightened. "This could cost me my job," he said quietly to Mr. Whitmore, who had moved to sit beside him. "They can't fire you for helping an injured animal," the old teacher said. "I already have 3 warnings. 2 because of emergencies with my mom, 1 for a flat tire," Andrew explained as he turned onto Carter Street. Soon, the clinic came into view. Andrew pulled up at the entrance. "I'll be quick," he told the passengers. A vet met him at the door. "Bring her in quickly," she said, leading him to the exam room. "I found her on Greenfield. Looks like she got hit by a bike," Andrew explained as he placed her gently on the table. "You did the right thing," the vet said, checking her vitals. "She has a microchip. We'll contact the owners." "I need to go," Andrew said reluctantly. "I'm driving a route." Back in the driver's seat, he checked the time again. 7:40 a.m. He was now 25 minutes behind schedule. His phone buzzed, a message from his manager. "See me in my office after your shift." The rest of the route passed in a blur, stop after stop. Familiar streets drifted by, but Andrew's thoughts were miles away, on the message, on his mother's medications, on rent due next week. Everything hung by a thread. At the final stop, Mr. Whitmore lingered before stepping off. "You're a good man, Andrew. Don't forget that, no matter what happens." Andrew gave a weak smile. "Thanks, but being good doesn't pay the bills." He parked the bus at the depot and walked slowly toward the office. The hallway felt longer than usual. He knocked on the door marked Victor Burns, Transit Operations Manager. "Come in," came the voice inside. Andrew entered, still damp from the rain. Victor was sorting through files Andrew recognized as his personnel record. Bureaucracy at its most impersonal. "Sit down," Victor said, pointing to the chair. "Care to explain why you were 25 minutes late?" "There was a hurt dog on Greenfield. I couldn't leave her." Victor exhaled heavily. "Andrew, we've talked about this. The schedule matters." "I know, but you've already had 3 warnings, 2 delays due to your mother, 1 for a tire issue." Victor cut in, scanning the papers. "My mother's stable now." "And the tire?" "Not my fault," Andrew said quietly. "And now this?" Victor continued. "Passengers complained. Some missed their transfers. We can't operate like this." Andrew leaned forward. "I'll make up the time. Work weekends." "I'm sorry, Andrew, that's not enough. We need reliable drivers." Victor handed him a paper, a termination notice. 15 years of service, gone because he helped an injured animal. "Clear your locker. Security will escort you." In silence, Andrew walked to his locker, a spare uniform, a photo of his mother, a small first aid kit. 15 years, packed into one small box. Security guard Mike followed him to the door. "Tough break, man. You were one of the good ones." "Thanks, Mike," Andrew said quietly. "Take care of yourself." At the bus stop, Andrew waited for the very route he used to drive. The irony didn't escape him. 3 missed calls blinked on his phone, his mother's care service. "How do I tell her?" he whispered. Most of his pay had gone toward her medications, her care. Now, unemployed, Andrew boarded as a passenger for the first time in 15 years. Outside, the same streets rushed past, but everything had changed. When Andrew opened the door to his small apartment, the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the floor. On the couch sat Daria, his mother's caregiver, reading a book. "You're home early," she said, looking up. "Is Mom asleep?" Andrew asked, setting the box of his belongings down on the table. "She's resting. Everything's fine. The service called about this month's payment." Andrew sank into the chair. "I lost my job today." Daria came closer. "What happened?" "I stopped to help a hurt dog. It delayed my route," he explained. "That was my 4th warning." "That's awful. What are you going to do?" He rubbed his face with both hands. "I have some savings, maybe enough for 2 months' rent." "And the medicine? Her care?" The phone rang, interrupting his thoughts. An unknown number. "Hello?" Andrew answered. "Is this Andrew Parnell?" a woman's voice asked. "Yes, speaking." "This is Dr. Roman from the Carter Street Animal Clinic, the dog you brought in this morning. His name is Max. He belongs to Mr. George Atwood. He would like to speak with you." Andrew's mind went back to the trembling dog in the rain. "How is she?" "Thanks to you, she's stable. Mr. Atwood insists on meeting you. He's here at the clinic now." Andrew checked the time. "I can be there in 20 minutes. "I'll stay with your mother," Daria offered, touching his hand gently. "Thank you," Andrew said, getting up. The bus ride to the clinic felt surreal. He watched the other passengers and wondered if any of them were also one act of kindness, away from losing everything. When Andrew walked into the clinic's waiting room, it was quiet. A man in an expensive suit stood at the counter, speaking on the phone. The receptionist nodded toward him. He finished the call and turned. "Andrew Parnell? Yes, that's me." "George Atwood," the man said, extending his hand. "Thanks to you, Max is going to be okay." Andrew shook his hand. "I'm glad I could help." "The vet told me you lost your job because of this. Is that true?" Andrew nodded. "It was my fourth strike, but I couldn't just drive by. Not when he was suffering." "Tell me about yourself. Why did you stop that day?" George asked. Andrew sat beside the recovery crate where Max lay resting peacefully. "I just couldn't leave him out there in the rain. He was scared, bleeding. It felt wrong to do nothing." George looked at his dog, his eyes softening. "Max is more than a pet to me. He's my last connection to my late wife. She rescued him 10 years ago." "I take care of my mother," Andrew added. "Sometimes doing what's right comes at a cost." George glanced at his phone, then looked back at Andrew. "My company, Atlas Transport, provides corporate shuttle services. We're expanding routes. We need drivers." "I've heard of Atlas," Andrew said. "Aren't those the luxury coaches for executives?" "That's us, and we need experienced people. People who know that service isn't just about schedules, it's about humanity," George said. "Would that interest you?" Andrew sat upright. "Are you offering me a job?" "I am. Better hours than public transport, full benefits, health coverage for your family," George explained. "Salary's about 30% higher than your previous one." Andrew's throat tightened. "Why?" "Because kindness matters. What you did today shows who you are. And that's exactly the kind of person I want in my company," George said. "The 3 black cars outside, they're from my fleet. While we've been talking, my team ran your profile." "Is that true?" Andrew asked softly. "Completely. You can start next week. Spend this time with your mom," George said, rising. Outside, the 3 black SUVs waited by the curb. A woman approached them holding a folder. "I'm Jenna. All the paperwork is ready," she said, handing Andrew the folder. "We just need your signature." Andrew reviewed the contract. Salary, bonuses, health insurance, everything better than he ever imagined. His hands trembled slightly as he signed. "Welcome to Atlas," George said with a warm smile. "Sometimes life puts the right people in our path." "Thank you," Andrew replied, his voice low. "I don't even know what to say." "Just promise me you'll care for our clients the way you cared for Max," George said. "That's all I ask." Later that evening, Andrew sat beside his mother's bed, holding her hand. "Things are going to be different now, Mom. Better." "You see, sweetheart," she whispered softly, "good things happen to good people. Sometimes you just have to wait for the right moment." Andrew squeezed her hand. One act of kindness had changed everything. Not for the reward, but because it was the right thing to do. And now, a moment for you, the listener. Have you ever felt that doing the right thing comes at a price? That sometimes the world doesn't reward goodness fast enough? You're not alone. But what if one small shift, one natural discovery, could begin to change everything for you too? There's something waiting in the video description. A recent breakthrough. A mysterious purple shell found deep in nature that researchers say could triple your fat-burning potential even while you sleep. No harsh diets, no extreme exercise. Just a gentle, powerful transformation waiting to unfold. If you've been searching for a way to reclaim your energy, your body, and your confidence, this might be the moment you've been waiting for. Go to the description now. Discover what could change everything for you.